Hey, welcome, man. It's draft night. Ben's on his darkness retreat as well. Sorry, I didn't have time to update the opener yet, but we'll get it soon. To get that scrubby Aaron Rodgers off of there. Hey, one thing I wanted to say last night, Ben, that I'm happy about is the early part of the second round. Some good players going away that the Packers are missing out on.
All the good players are going away. All the good players, not some.
But one thing I wanted to say is that I'm really excited that was the last Aaron Rodgers press conference that I'll ever have to watch. I'm excited about that. I'm not going to watch another one. Yeah. I just want to make sure it happened. You're just like you. I want to make sure he actually was in New York. It was actually official, all that sort of good stuff. And now I don't ever have to watch him talk in the media again. I know I might consume a couple things via like Simpson Florio or somebody like that. But otherwise, I'm not going to sit there and watch him dribble on in front of New York media for 20-some minutes like he always used to do in Green Bay. And I always have to sit through that crap. So I'm glad about that. Okay. Well, Ben, the Packers. Now, I went and listened to Gute's. I'm going to we'll see who they pick because their picks are coming up quick here. But I'm going to put myself in Brian Gutekunst's mind, or attempt to, a little bit later, and try to justify and explain this first round selection, which I still don't quite get, but I'm going to try to understand it. However, even with that, after day one, after the first round, lots of good players there still for the Packers, so it was looking pretty good. And now all of a sudden, a bunch of these guys are off the board within the first handful of picks.
You muted yourself. I don't know why you muted yourself.
Because that was where you were supposed to start talking. So I muted.
Oh, you didn't ask me a question.
And I didn't ask you a question. I just said that a bunch of these guys are off the board after the first handful of picks. And then it went to you because, normally you're listening.
I'm looking to find out who the pick is because I can get it ahead of time here.
Okay. Well, I'm watching. I don't know why. How did the NFL draft
become Plosky, defensive end, outside linebacker.
The NFL draft became on my network television, antenna TV. I can watch it. Even the second round, every round. That's crazy. That's crazy. It used to that they put this on, man. ABC, Disney, ESPN, Disney, ABC. They're all connected, and they put it right.
Anyway, so what are we looking at?
Well, we're looking at still the pick they should have. The guy they probably should have picked yesterday is still there.
Well,
at least
currently. I mean, there's a good chance that you could be very happy if Gute doesn't screw it up.
Right? I mean, at 13 yesterday, come on. Like, Jackson Smith and Jigba should have been the pick, right?
Who?
Jackson Smith and Jigba. He should have been the pick.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know.
I mean, come on.
Just so you know, I got one ear on the draft, and I got one ear on you, and I got one eye or two eyes on something else.
I'll fill you in.
So
Isaiah Foskey,
listening to you.
Or defensive end from Notre Dame. Isaiah Foskey.
I said that a long time ago.
He's gone. So, look, none of these guys, okay, keep picking the DNs, smallish DNs. He's not 270, so the Packers wouldn't have drafted him.
So here's my question.
Okay, what do you got?
With Luke Musgrave, Darnell Washington, and Tucker Kraft all there yet, are the Packers going to go somewhere else at 42, and then they end up losing your guy?
No, you know what they're going to do?
They pick again at 45.
They're going to draft a tight end at 42 and a tight end at 45.
They're not doing that. Tucker Kraft is the 74th ranked guy on here, so I don't know what they're going to do there.
Yeah, I hope they're smart enough to take Washington. Now, the benefit.
Well, they'll take Washington. Washington is the perfect
because he's a physical freak.
Yeah, that's what he loves.
High ceiling, which he loved about his first round pick too. That's all he talks about. Potential, physical traits, not necessarily production and all this other sort of stuff. The potential and the physical traits. He said that in his press conference yesterday about, and he's like, well, production is important. Yeah. I kind of blew it off. But the potential and the physical traits are what Gute goes by when he picks these guys. And young, he likes them if they're young. That's another draw for him, and why he'll take a first-round guy. Somehow that plays in. That's like if you're under 21, if you're 21 or under, man, he just can't resist taking in the first round.
Can't. He cannot resist, and that's why, man, I hope Arizona does not pick is in. Okay, If the pick is in, I'll be able to find out what it is. Because PFF, I'll tell you this much: you go to their mock draft simulator, and as soon as the pick is in, they tell you what it is.
Damn.
Like, I don't know where they're getting their information from, but boom, it's in there.
They got the direct. Now you're worried, Packer fan? Don't be worried, Packer fan.
Where is everybody's going? Okay, it's not in there yet. I'll have to keep checking over and over and over here. But I'm just, they just did a commercial, and then they announced one pick, and now they did another commercial already? What's going on with that?
The commercials pay for the broadcast, man. That's how it goes. You know that. That's the only way it's free TV is the advertisers pay to make it free for you.
Really?
So Will Levis went to the Titans, huh? Okay. I thought the Lions might have grabbed him, but they hung in there, and then they took
The
Sam
Lions.
Laporta.
The Lions did us a favor, and they took a tight end that we don't need because he's just a Josiah DeGuara clone, so we don't need that.
He will probably play for him. So far, the Lions have 3 guys they're probably going to play right away. Though.
Oh, yeah. They have 3 guys that are going to start and play and contribute, unlike the Packers. Have one guy who's going to maybe play, probably not.
Gute said he expected him to contribute this year.
Well, yeah. I mean, with Gary hurt, but I mean, he's not like a...
And I'll explain Gute's... I'm gonna enter the mind of Brian Gutekunst after they make these 2 picks, because then we got a little time there, and I'm gonna explain what he's thinking, and maybe he's just smarter than all. Maybe it's like Eka said yesterday. All those times, they're smarter than me. They're a lot smarter than me. They know what they're doing. Well, I don't know if they know what they're doing. But
hey, I got information here. Blabby blab.
Don't give
BJ
it away.
BJ Ojulari is the pick of Tennessee Titans, which means for the Packers at 42 is your guy.
Arizona Cardinals, you mean?
That's what I said.
You said Tennessee Titans. I don't know why. But
it was the Tennessee Titans pick.
Oh, okay.
They traded to the Cardinals.
Yeah. Okay.
Your guy, Darnell Washington, is there for the Packers at 42.
Should be a pretty quick decision. Should be
honest to God,
easy.
It should be fast and simple and easy. And give us Darnell Washington, please. Please, Goody, give us Darnell Washington. Don't screw this up. It's fallen right. You already screwed up yesterday when you could have had JSN. Can you please not screw this one up? This one, I mean, this screams Goody though.
Yeah, it does.
6'6", 266-pound tight end with freak agility and decent speed and blocks like a madman. This is perfect for Matt LaFleur's system.
Yeah,
exactly what we need. Do not screw this up, Goody.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that the other tight ends were taken. So
yes, me too.
He couldn't screw, because then he might be tempted and want to get one of those guys. This is the guy the Packers should have got all along.
Well, I mean, it was either him or Michael Mayer, but this guy fits the Goody mold. This is a Goody pick right here. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, hey, I'm cool with that.
And Matt LaFleur pick.
Yeah, I mean, he loves Mercedes Lewis. Is like his favorite guy in the whole world. So,
Mercedes Lewis as a young buck instead. We'll take it. Rick says, "Go Raiders, not the worst pick." Hey, Raiders did better in the second round. There you go.
They got Michael Mayer. That's who they got.
David, how you doing? We're waiting on the Packers. Their pick comes up next, right after the Cardinals. They're milking this one on the TV broadcast here for a while.
Yeah, they like to do that. Remember last year when that one guy who was a former Viking was up there and he was blabbing and blabbing and blabbing and blabbing and blabbing and blabbing and blabbing for like 100 years?
They got Aeneas Williams announcing this one. They got legendary players from the teams.
Okay, the pick is in for the Packers. I know exactly what it is.
Don't say it.
No, I know exactly what it is.
I'm just getting the announcement from Aeneas Williams on the Cardinals pick. And these people are excited. Excited for that BJ Ojulari. Linebacker from LSU. Yes, they like it.
They drafted, in a quote, talked about this player. It says he's the best athlete at the position in the class.
I should invite Viking Mo to see if he wants to come on tonight to talk about his first round receiver they picked. It's terrible.
He won't.
Dang it. David says, don't be surprised.
The guy the Packers drafted is 6'6".
Stop it.
I'm just telling you, the guy they drafted is 6'6".
You know what it is. You can announce it. Go for it. You're ahead of.
I'll let you get it.
No, don't let me get it.
I'm not ahead of you. I'm looking at the PFF Draft Box Simulator, and it's telling me what happens. And it's been right every time.
The simulator. Okay.
Yeah, because they're taking it off the board as soon as it's gone. And I just refresh and refresh and refresh and refresh, and then I see every time, like way before the pick is in. Now, if this is wrong, I don't know. The pick is in. Green Bay's pick is in. I got to make sure I see your reaction here to this pick. I'm going to watch you, see what you say about it. I'm going to watch your reaction to this pick and see what do you say? Who are you texting?
I'm typing stuff up. Oh, key departures for the Packers. What do they say? Oh, they're announcing the pick already. Who? Raji Goodell gets to announce it. Here it is. You got Raj. Packers are excited for Luke Musgrave. What the fuck?
I told you. 6'6". He's 6'6".
Why? What the? Come on! They tried to make it so you wouldn't screw it up.
They still screwed it up.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Why?
Now watch his highlights. He's actually pretty good. He's the most athletic tight end in the draft.
Is he the biggest?
He's 6'6", 253.
Is his blocking good?
No. His block, actually, it could be good, but he's lazy, is what I hear.
Jesus
He's
Christ.
not consistent. That was a terribly thrown ball that I'm looking at right now on NFL Network.
He was a high school ski champion. Well,
hands catcher,
great.
according to Daniel Jeremiah says he's a hands catcher. That's a plus right there. I like him moving. Oh, here's a good block in the running game.
Well, he's your starter. He's your tight end starter, no doubt. I mean, he's going to start.
Well, unless they draft Darnell Washington at 45.
If they do that, then I will be happy. Right now, though, I'm not all that pleased.
There he is. They got him.
Freaking Gute, what the hell? Now the Jets are up. Here they go. All right, I'm making a ticker. I was kind of lazy yesterday, and I couldn't do it. Now I got it.
So, are you upset?
Yes, I'm upset. Especially when the only other guys that I was concerned that they might want to go after, which was Laporta and Mayer, are gone. Seems like it's pretty clear cut. Let's take the big monster guy who can block and who's awesome. And no,
I'm going to tell you something as a guy who's been listening to draft coverage.
All right,
for weeks and months on this tight ends class. Luke Musgrave is considered to be just this step behind Kincaid when it comes to a receiving tight end, like just a little bit below him when it comes to receiving tight end. His blocking and his potential as a blocker rivals Mayer. His effort does not. He's not, from what I hear, he's not like a go-getter. So that's going to have to change, and hopefully he'll be with the coach and the team that will make him change. He played one game last year, caught 11 passes for 169 yards, and then got hurt, didn't play all the rest of the year. But what he is a guy who's 6'6", 250-some pounds. He's young at 21 or 22 years old. He can add more weight to that frame.
Yeah, but that would require dedication and work ethic. And
well, that's what I think that's going to happen. I have to be honest with you. I'm not upset with the pick. I think he is a good combination.
Oh, congratulations to Joe Tipman getting drafted by the Jets, center from Wisconsin.
Oh, goes the first center off the board over John Jingleheimer, Michael Schmitz.
Goes to block for jackass Aaron Rodgers. Go get him, kid. Go get him. Yeah, great. Missed all 22. Corey Bayless, Skip Bayless, Corey Bayless. Skip Kasich says, not the tight end we were thinking. I'm going back to not watching the Packers draft. Way to take a guy that only played 2 games due to injury. Yes. That's Gute likes guy. He I don't know. He's got a soft spot for guys that had injuries, you know, and haven't showed you anything recently. So anyway, Joe Tipman.
Yeah, but
first
Kincaid
Badger
was
is he the first? Is he the first Badger selected? Okay, congratulations, kid.
He is.
Congratulations, Joe. First Badger taken.
He looks better than
Looks pretty good.
Josh Myers.
Yeah, he looks pretty damn good. I like him. So we got the Colts right here, and then we got the Packers
And us again.
And if they go tight end here again, then I'll be really happy.
They might.
Why not?
They have
what
none.
else? What else are you gonna pick? Prioritize what you need.
Let's see what else is out there.
You need two tight ends.
I mean,
maybe they think
Brian Branch is still
that
there.
Receiver guy. Maybe they think
he might be
Musgrave is that receiver guy.
undersized. He might be undersized and not very fast, but he's still a really good player at safety. So, I mean, I could see them going that way. Otherwise, it's a bunch of little tiny wide receivers. John Jingle, Michael Schmitz, DeJuan Jones, who's the 270-pound offensive tackle, which I don't think they're going to go with. But you never know. They might go with him if they want to go crazy. Yeah, this guy, DeJuan Jones, 6'8", 274 pounds, only 21 years old. That's the Gute pick right there.
Ooh, that's Gute pick. That's Gute.
So I don't know. I mean, they need a right tackle. He'd be a great right tackle.
So we have two guys,
especially in the running game.
Two guys I did not expect. Once again,
well, I kind of expected. I mean, I thought Luke Musgrave was going to be the pick because I thought Washington was going to be gone at that point, and I thought Meyer would be gone at that point, and therefore Luke Musgrave would be the best guy left because I like Sam Laporta, but he's pretty much Josiah DeGuara. He's not big enough to be an inline tight end, where Musgrave is, and Musgrave's bigger than Kincaid because Kincaid's 6'3.5", 6'4", 245. This guy's 6'6", 255. He's taller, a little bit bigger. His arms are long. He catches with his hands. I'm not opposed to this pick. This reminds me of this is very similar to the Christian Watson last year instead of George Pickens. I don't think they lost the pick here by not taking Washington. I just think if they would have taken Washington, I think, it would probably be a better fit for Matt LaFleur offense.
Yeah.
But who knows? I'm not that smart.
He says they're smarter than us.
Yeah.
He said it so many times last night. Smarter than us.
Who said that? You said that?
No, Eckes said that all the time last night. Well, they're smarter than us.
Well, Eckes is used to people being smarter than him.
No. All right. So JJ says Musgrave is a good pick. And I'm not saying Van Ness is going to be a bad player. I'm not saying Musgrave isn't going to be a good player. Maybe they will be. I just think I stand by my evaluation 4 years down the road. We'll see if I was right or not. I think I think Darnell Washington's going to be the best tight end in the NFL in 4 years. I don't think this Musgrave kid will be. He might be solid. He might be good. We'll see. Will he be a good enough blocker? I don't know. Well, or will the Packers just blow my mind here and draft another tight end and scoop up Washington too? I hope so. I kind of hope so.
You want the good news or the bad news?
No.
The good news is Darnell Washington is still on the clock at 45 because the Colts drafted Julius Brents, cornerback, Kansas State.
Okay.
So he's still there. But I'm telling you, based on Gute, I'm thinking DeJuan Jones. I'm thinking John Michael Schmitz at center because you got to light a fire underneath, what's his face? Josh Myers.
Come on, you can't do that. You drafted Myers 2 years ago.
Cody Mock is a tackle who people are saying they might move him in line. Antonio Johnson is a safety from Texas A&M. Luke Whippler from Ohio State center. Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver, the tall, skinny guy, 6'1", 170 pounds. So there's a lot of options of good players, and now tight end is not a need. So I don't know what to tell you, Jace.
Well, you still need two of them. Is Musgrave a good enough blocker to be the primary blocking tight end?
No.
Well, then you still need Washington here. Go ahead and draft him.
Well, here's the thing. If Matt LaFleur is in the room, maybe he's speaking it into existence. Because here's what I don't want to have happen. They don't draft Washington, and then they go and sign Mercedes for one last year to take a bunch of stuff. And then Musgrave never gets on the field because they're playing stick and Mercedes half the time. But I don't know.
Look at this. Corey says it. If the Packers take Washington, I'll be more okay with Musgrave. Me too. Tight ends are a young quarterback's best friend. Double tight end sets will help with the run game. 100%. We've been talking about it, haven't we? Yes.
I mean, they took 3 wide receivers last year.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they? They could possibly take, 3 tight ends in 1 year or 2
I
tight ends.
mean, looking at who's there, a bunch of the best interior linemen are gone, right? The best tackles are gone.
The
The
centers
best
are there.
impactful, D line guys and corners and all that
Oh,
are gone.
Packers are trading. Packers traded with the Lions.
Oh, shoot.
How far back did they go? Okay, so they went back 3 spots. So they're going to be Lions, New England, Washington, and then the Packers again.
Who do the Lions want here that they want to trade up?
Let's see.
The Lions are crazy. They're just
Did they get a
drafting
corner? Did the Lions draft a corner yet? They
They
didn't, right?
No, because they drafted a running back and then they drafted.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Brian Branch is probably the guy they want. He could fill it as their
Okay.
nickel corner, and because that's kind of what he played mostly in college, is like a nickel corner and safety around the box. And I bet you that's what they're like. They can't believe he's still there at 45, and they probably trade up to get him.
You got to watch out for the Lions now because they got a bunch of young. I know their defense was overall bad last year, but they got a lot of young guys that are going to be hungry and flying around. So, they got the Illinois safety Kirby, right? And then they got good corners. They got rid of some of their old dead weight with Akuda. Get his ass out. He was holding them back. Lions are the exact opposite of the Packers.
They are.
They're moving to young players. They're getting
Yeah.
rid of the old guys so the young guys can come in and play and flourish.
It's absolutely crazy because, well, not only that, but like they take a young guy and then within 2 years they're done with him. The Packers wait for 3 years before they even have a guy even make the field that they draft the first round. Or the Lions are like, nah, this guy stinks. We're done with them. We know what we have here. We're moving on. Yep, safety, Brian Branch. Lions taking safety, Brian Branch. Called it.
All right.
Now the Patriots are on the clock, and guess what they need?
Do you know what the Packers got for moving back?
I don't.
Okay, we'll take a. I'll try to.
It's showing them.
JJ.
It's showing them up after Washington at 48, but then I don't see anything. And on the mock draft simulator, they still have the Lions at 48. So something's going on there. They haven't updated that on here yet.
I'll see what I can find out.
But I don't think Washington's going to take a tight end. I don't think the Patriots are going to take a tight end. So Darnell Washington could still be there at 48.
They'll still pass on him. They're the Packers. God, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What if they take Keanu Benton at 48? Get a big monster to help out with D-line.
I mean, didn't they just got a guy in the first round to help the D-line? Like, what? Come on.
Yeah, but he can't play. He's
Gute. He talked about how
270.
versatile he is to be in the inside,
and passing
the
downs,
outside, and the this and that. And they see him, doing a lot of things that did with Za'Darius with him, and he can be helpful and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine.
You're right.
All right, so the Packers, the Packers must have picked up a 5th round pick here.
Okay,
yeah,
that's good.
They picked up pick 159. They traded away there.
Okay.
Yeah, they picked up pick 159 here, in round 5 for moving back a couple spots. If that makes Gute feel better about drafting a second tight end to have a few more picks in between, okay, great. Great. Then hopefully he does it.
So the Patriots picked Keon White, who's kind of a freak athlete from Georgia Tech, defensive end. So that's nothing we needed because we already drafted that guy 13th overall. So we don't need another defensive end, at least not this high in the draft.
Lions literally drafted 4 starters.
Yes.
They drafted a running back. They drafted an inside linebacker with Jack Campbell. And they drafted Laporta.
Yep.
And now they drafted the starting safety.
They drafted all positions that other teams don't value. And they took the best player or the second best player at each one of those positions, except for Laporta. I think it's pretty even between Laporta and Musgrave and Mayer.
He was very well rounded, right? Laporta, that was the thing.
Yes.
He's well rounded tight end.
He's smaller size. He's like 6'2.5". He's like Josiah DeGuara size.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go, Lions. Lions trying to get players that can impact their team now. Packers going on potential down the road once again.
And I know I'm 2 picks ahead of you, but so I've already told you the Patriots picked.
JJ says Musgrave can play the slot also. All right, JJ. Well, let's see.
He has some ability. They could move him out there, yeah.
I mean, if that's the kind of guy they were going to go for, I wish they would have just drafted Kincaid in the first round.
Yeah, but now they have,
Now they have what? Another 270-pound guy that can kind of rush the passer, sort of.
Yeah,
and maybe get 10 to 12.
I heard
sacks
good
a year.
things. Okay, but I heard good things about him defending against the run in college. They said, and also they say his nickname was Hercules in the building, but through the scouts call him the Tasmanian Devil.
Okay,
because he never gives up.
He's
and
an
I'll take
effort
that.
guy. Yeah,
I'll
he's
take
an effort
that.
guy.
If he's a guy who never gives up, how many times did we watch Clay Matthews who wouldn't give up and he caused a sack and then go? I still remember that to play against Eli Manning, right? Caused a fumble, and then the guy went to go pick it up. He just ran over and beat the snot out of the guy who was trying to pick the ball up, and then picked the ball up and recovered himself. I mean, that's awesome. So
Kelly Packard just shows up. He's wondering who that tight end is. Is he good? Well, Luke Musgrave. He was one of the better tight ends, one of the top 5 tight ends. So probably, and he's pretty well rounded. He's a little bit more of a receiver than a blocker. But overall, he's good. We think could be good. He's definitely needed. We need tight ends.
He's another potential. He's a lot like the guy from Iowa. He's got all the potential in the world. The highest, most athletic, like I say, senior tight end, 11 catches for 169 yards and a touchdown in 2 games. Then he got hurt. He's the best athlete at the position in the class, boasting the kind of speed and agility to separate from defensive backs. So, I mean, he can do it all as far as a receiver, and he catches with his hands. He's 22 years old. He's got a lot of things that everybody likes.
Okay.
So now it's just, will it work? And, I don't know. Maybe he'll be, I don't know. I would say he's closer to a Jermichael Finley with a little bit with better blocking than he is to like a Mark Shimura, who couldn't really do much after the catch. This guy can do stuff after the catch.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Oh, son of a monkey butt!
What?
Damn it!
The Patriots.
No,
Patriots
Patriots took Keon White, who was defensive end we don't need. Washington took Jatavius Martin, one of the super fast, crazy safeties for Illinois, right before the Packers could get him. Packers, you screwed up by backing up. So now I wonder if they're going to take Brown, the other safety.
Gute's looking at his board. They just followed the board, Ben. And they he talked about it today. After they make their damn pick, then I'm going to try to explain Brian Gutekunst to you once again. But we'll see how that works out.
So what does everybody think? Well, we can ask about this later. Brian Branch is the only player, it looks like so far, that came back to be there when they announced his name. Will Levis did not.
No.
So, I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. I like it when the guys come. Like Randall Cobb did that, remember? Because the Packers didn't draft him till the second round, and he came back the next day, and he was still there to be, get a handshake with the commission, all that crap.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I just think the Lions, this is a good character guy. That's the other thing. I think the Lions took a lot of good character guys and good players. It's like, dang it. No. It's almost like it's reversed. Like the Lions have become the Packers from like the early, like the 90s and stuff. Like the Packers used to be taking the good character, awesome player, like good player guys. And now they just take traits, and Gute's like the opposite of Ted Thompson. Thompson would take like the good guy and he'd screw up all the time in the first round because he took a guy who sucked, but then he'd do great in every other round. And Gute's the opposite, where he's taking high traits, but it takes 2 years before it shows up on the field. I don't know.
Well, in his press conference, yesterday he explained some things. They didn't really grill him, but they asked him a couple questions about going defense. They asked him some questions about this pick in particular, especially when had some offensive neat holes to fill. And I'll tell you what he said, or kind of what he said. So the Patriots are getting their pick announced on my broadcast at the moment. But they took one of the players I thought the Packers would take in the first round, in Christian Gonzalez. Now they got another defensive player, right, in Keon White. So
yeah,
I don't know. Look, I'm just mostly concerned about
Packers traded back again.
Oh, Jesus!
They traded back 2 more spots.
Wow.
Probably because they wanted Jotavius Martin. Now he's gone.
Okay. Well, good enough. So now let's talk about Brian Gutekunst. Let's talk about what he said, because now we got a little time to do that. As JJ says, we'll talk about that in a second. Hang on, JJ. It says Hyatt, Monster, Washington. Well, you know who I want. And then, okay, so Gute said, here's some of the things. We'll kind of go over kind of what he said yesterday. So I listened to it because I wanted to hear what he said about Van Ness. And he said how we talked about how he's a young guy, that's exciting. Young guy, has a lot, he was asked about how he never started. He's like, well, he's got, they had this thing at Iowa and blah, 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 but he has all the traits. And then he said and then someone asked him, like, I think Jason Wilde asked him, has this changed where, it used to be people were drafting more about production and what they saw production in college, and now you're drafting more on potential and traits. And Gute said, oh, no, I don't think it's really changed. We've always kind of gone that way. He's like, talked about how Ron Wolf was from the Raiders, who we know, Raider Rick, who always draft on potential and talent, hoping they're going to blow up and be the greatest thing of all time. And then most of the time they don't. And so he's like, no, we always have done that. So that's one thing. He talked about how he thought Van Ness, he's got a lot of strength. He's got more time inside, because they compared him to Rashawn Gary based on his size. And he said that he's got more inside pass rushing experience and better technique than Gary had. And probably better than Zadarius Smith. And if you watch the film, if you watch some of the stuff on him, he gets lower. He does have more leverage, so he is a better interior pass rusher at that size. If they want to, go like third down, they're going to move him around and stuff like that. So it sounds like that's the stuff they're going to do. Gute also mentioned that they emphasize pass rush. Okay. The Packers want to generate more pass rush. All right. So all of that was said, and that all makes sense. Great. And they're expecting to move him around. So it's not just because, if Gary's back and Preston's in there, it doesn't mean that kid's not going to be on the field on third down. He might be an inside pass rusher on third down. Okay, fine. I get all that. Then he was asked, with all of these, so, over the last, whatever the hell it was, 10 out of the last 11 years in the first round, or maybe it was even 13 out of the last 14 years, I can't remember, that they have drafted defensive players. So with all of that, what are the expectations for this defense? As a Packer fan, and as a general manager, if you're putting all of your high assets and picks and all of that onto the defensive side of the ball, don't you expect this defense to be a dominant, not just okay, not just good. This should be a defense that is so talented that it imposes its will. It does not sit back and play safe or react to what the hell the offense they're going against is going to do. If this is what they're doing, then I want to see this defense play like they got some cojones. Like they are going to be a dominant force to be reckoned with, and the offense has to deal with them, not they have to react to whatever the offense wants to do. So based on all this crap, based on the way they've drafted, the way they've invested money in defensive players, this 2023 season, the defense, we said it last year, they should have been dominant, and they weren't. This defense needs to be a top 5 defense. And if it isn't, the coach needs to be fired. or the GM needs to be fired, or both after this season.
2023.
Don't you think? I mean, here's my take on it. Aaron Rodgers was paid a shitload of money last year. A ton of money. He was not good. So I blasted him for that. This defense has been given all the assets, all the investment. It also needs to be held accountable this season. And maybe, as I back up just a second and I try to be Brian Gutekunst for 1 minute, maybe in his mind, he looks at a bunch of the teams that have won the Super Bowl have had a good defense. When the Packers have won, they've had a very good defense. Maybe his thought in making his first round selection was, man, if we can get one more pass rusher and make this a dominant defense, we'll win the Super Bowl. And we don't have to have a star quarterback play in order to do it. We can do it with a great defense and solid quarterback play and solid offensive play. Does that argument hold water for anybody else? What do you think? Is that what Brian Gutekunst is thinking?
I'm thinking he just is going to do what he always does. I don't think it has nothing to do with that. He thinks premium position, young player, with high upside. That's what he always does.
I want there to be a plan here,
which doesn't lead to ever being in the moment to win games. It's about keeping your job. It's about making, like Corey said years ago, selling hope to the future, having something there when something goes wrong, and hopefully it'll work with Jordan Love. It worked with Rashawn Gary, though he got hurt. It's all things that he's been doing for years. But now, guess what? Cody Mack gone to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Keanu Benton gone to the Steelers. Packers are on the clock.
Now he can afford to get some implants, that Mack kid, now that he's drafted.
I don't think he wants them.
Implants in the front.
I don't think he wants them.
Come on, man.
He just wants to go he looks pretty awesome. He looks tough and monstrous. He looks just like
he could have been a Packer.
Quinn Miners.
They should have done Quinn Miners a couple years ago. Got him, man. That line would be awesome. Yeah,
he looks like Josh Sitton. His face looks like he's just a red-haired,
right,
taller Josh Sitton. Because he's way taller than Josh Sitton. He looks like he's humongous. Okay, Packers pick is in.
Gute looking for depth. Why are you looking for depth when you need starters? You don't have starters at positions. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You need to draft guys that are going to play.
Wow.
Come on, dude. Don't. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why do they never want to fill out a team and actually draft guys that are going to play? I just can't.
Oh my God.
I just can't understand it.
Packers' next pick is not good.
I'm sure it's another surprise that not even a guy that was on my radar screen.
It's not good.
Gute also talked about, in his defense when he was asked about what the expectations were for the defense, right? Because he was asked that question. And he said, well, I think they're high. We got to see what Quay is going to do. And Jair's been playing at a premier level for years. Okay. And Rashawn, when he comes back, and all these guys, Kenny Clark. Okay. And Stokes coming back. He talked about Stokes coming back. Even though the Packers said Rasul Douglas, his best position is outside corner for them. Matt LaFleur, their head coach, said
I think the
Gute's
coaches
talking about,
and Gute are on two different wavelengths when it comes to the team at this point.
Wow. Just weird.
Because when people find out what the draft pick is and compared to what was there and all the guys people have been talking about, fans are going to lose their crap.
They're at a commercial on the TV broadcast. So tell me what it is.
You want to know?
I know it's not my guy, so tell me what it is.
Well, it's a wide receiver. But it's not any of the receivers that we were talking about.
A wide receiver who's not going to play.
It's not Josh Downs. It's not everybody's favorite Jalen Hyatt. It's Jaden Reed from Michigan State.
What?
a 187-pound, 5'11" wide receiver
Who's basically Bo Melton, who you already have.
who has 11 yards per catch and 5 touchdowns last season. Not only that, he's 23 years old. And he's been playing college football since 2018. So he played 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. He played 5 years of college football. Or I guess there was 1 year in there where he was redshirted.
Hey, congrats to second Badger for going off the board here, Keanu
Yeah.
Benton. He's a guy that I would have been okay with if the Packers
Yeah.
drafted him. He's big
I know.
and fast and strong.
So I don't know what to say about this. This is not. He's not as big. He better be one heck. I hope he's got some agility and he's like a Jackson Smith and Jigba type guy, if we're lucky. But he sure doesn't have the size and to help block at 187 pounds, at 5'11", 187 pounds.
Keanu Benton was also a wrestler, and that's worked out pretty well before. Wrestlers at D tackle.
Yeah.
But now he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. So Pittsburgh Steelers like good Wisconsin players, and they draft him, I guess. Jesus. What the hell?
I don't know.
I'm maybe the coaching staff needs to be given more credit. I don't know. For working with what they're given. Because isn't it just, Ben, is the thing I want every year is for it to seem like there's an actual plan. And it just does not seem like there's a plan. Or the plan is so far in the future that, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen after a couple of years. Leroy Butler is announcing this.
Leroy Butler.
There he is. How are you doing, Leroy? And this kid's like, they're showing a kid. Kid's like, who the hell is that? I guess I'll say yeah, but I don't know who this guy is. All right, great. Jaden Reed. Wow. Okay. Oh, man.
All right, I want to hear what they say about this guy.
He looks small.
That's true. He moves. I like he doesn't stop his feet when he runs, when he makes the catch. He looks like he's got pretty good hand-eye coordination when the ball's in the air.
Five, 10, and 3/8, and 187 pounds. Okay.
I don't know.
That's a fourth. He's a 4th round pick, 4th or 5th round pick. He's a mid-round pick to me.
That's what people have been saying. But...
Okay. Well, now he's a Green Bay Packer at pick number 50. Wow. Those picks we got back, really valuable.
And how many picks do they have now? Like 75,000? Like, what was the point of all these draft picks if...
Let's see what else they got.
Like, they already had 11.
They have... oh, boy. So they got 4 7th-round picks.
Yeah, they've always had that.
Most of those aren't going to stick. 2 6th-rounders, 2 5th-rounders. Not to go along with a 4th and a 3rd yet. And so far, they've drafted... Oh, boy.
They've drafted 3 players. And they have 10 picks left. They're going to draft 13 players in this draft. I'm assuming he's going to package some stuff to move up and get some other things here. But I don't know.
Yeah, 10 picks left. I mean, what are they going to get? Oh, man. Why in the world would they not try to get some players that are going to be on the field? This one doesn't make sense to me either. Like, I mean, you need wide receivers. I get it. But I feel like you've got some pretty good ones in camp. You would basically should be drafting for more depth and development at wide receiver. That's a position to draft for that. So that's later round stuff. But Van Ness, Luke Musgrave, Jaden Reed. Those are our Packers so far. Let me add them to the list. Pick number 50. Okay. Great.
Well, I don't know. Should we take a break for a while and come back later? What do you say?
Hold on, I'm gonna throw some comments up and update my thing. Hang on. JJ says strange pick. Corey points out, yes, Steelers really like Wisconsin players when they are gifted. Aha, TJ Watt, yes. And Rick says they're not rebuilding, they're just loading up on picks to draft a bunch of draft and develop guys. Reed is quick out of his breaks. I mean, he looks like he could be pretty good. I just don't know.
Here's my question: if he's so quick out of his breaks, why is it that when they showed 5 highlights out of him, 3 of them were contested catches?
Mm-hmm.
Were the passes that bad, or was he not open? And that's I don't know. That's just something you can look at and be like, I don't know what's going on with this film. I'm not. I like Rashee Rice better. I like Marvin Mims. I like there's a bunch of guys even later on that I liked from wide receiver. Michael Wilson from Stanford. Tyler Scott. I mean, you can just go on and on and on and on. There are a bunch of receivers just like this guy. But there's only a couple centers that are as good as John Michael Schmitz, who's still there, and they don't take him. It's dumb. So, I don't know. And a lot of people thought they were going to take Jalen Hyatt.
Packers continue to do perplexing things in the draft. But we should probably all, to save ourselves, we should all take the Eckes approach. They know more than us. They're smarter than us. They got a plan somewhere in there. There's a plan.
I don't know.
Damn, man.
Yeah, David Washington's still there. Nobody's taking him. Nobody is taking him.
He's a monster. How would his physical traits not entice Gute to grab him?
I don't know. It's almost
it's tiny ass receiver.
It's odd to me. It's odd to me that he goes with Van Ness in the first round because of his physical traits, and then doesn't take Washington. Now, like I said, this could be the S2 cognitive test. Maybe Washington's not the sharpest tool in the shed, and they're not going to waste time with him.
Okay. All right.
They know things we don't know. It's not just height, weight, and size. We've seen a lot of height, weight, and size guys that end up being idiots, and they stink. So, I don't know.
Shouldn't it be a simpler game now that Aaron Rodgers is not changing everything all the time?
Maybe, but when you're a tight end, you got to be semi-smart. Because not only do you have to help with pass protection, run blocking, and you have to worry about coverages in the secondary. You're doing everything. You got to be one of the smartest guys in the field. Unless your name is Gronk, then you're just a monster. Because obviously he's not that smart.
Don't you just want to have a monster guy for a change that can just be super physical? And I don't know.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, like I said, about when I watched the tape on Washington, I thought his route running was sluggish. I thought his after the catch was sluggish.
But he's big enough to break tackles. Okay. Maybe he's not fast and away from guys, but he's big enough
in college.
Yeah, but a lot of these guys, safeties and whoever else are in there, are not going to be, that they're the same sort of guys that were players in college. Rick points out his Raz sucks. Reads, why did Gute take him? We don't know. It's a mystery. He's trying to switch it up sometimes.
I don't know.
Everyone else is more confused by this pick than they were the first round pick. I
am. I'm actually way more confused with this wide receiver than I am with the first, because even though there was 75,000 pass rushers on the board, at least he has some, you watch the tape and you're like, okay, this guy's a monster. This guy just looks like a regular little receiver. There's like 20 other guys in the draft just like him. You don't have to waste a 3rd round pick on him. We have that same, what he looks like? Samari Toure. We've already got him. We picked him up in the 7th round last year. And Samari Toure is bigger. I don't know. I think we should take a break. I'm sick of doing this.
All right.
I'm angry.
All right.
So
sounds good. We'll come back when I don't know what, a little later. What do you think?
Like an hour, 8:30.
The Packers, a little before the Packers are going to draft again, or once we get to the 3rd round.
Are you going to use the same link, or you have to start a whole new one?
I got to start a new one.
Okay.
Okay. To recap, round 1, We thought the Packers were going to draft Jackson Smith and Jigba, or maybe a top end tight end instead of Lucas Van Ness, an edge-ish guy from Iowa. Round 2, they draft at 42 Luke Musgrave, a tight end. A Beaver, by the way, nonetheless. A Beaver tight end. Oh, I did update my banner, but then I didn't save it. My bad. And then they move back twice, right? Move back twice, Ben, to at 50 draft Jaden Reed, right? God,
Yeah.
what the hell are they doing? A little average wide receiver who, I don't know. I guess he can get open if everybody else is drawing coverage away from him. That's probably it. So that's what we got from the Aaron Rodgers trade. Basically netted Lucas Van Ness, which we could have had if we didn't do the
Right.
switch
That
picks.
didn't the only thing we got Musgrave from the Aaron Rodgers trade. That's what we got.
Musgrave. All right. Fair enough.
Because the other one's a
Okay.
second round pick. That would have been our second round pick. Now, next year we'll get a first or a second. That'll add to it. So that'll be something.
The Packers continue to disappoint and make us scratch our heads in this draft. Now, maybe we'll be proven wrong. Maybe they'll be good players. We hope so. Crossing fingers. We'll take a break for a while. We'll come back before the third round pick, even though some more people are logging on right now. But come on back in like an hour or something, and we'll see if we can make some sense of this. We'll look into this Jaden Reed kid a little bit, and I don't know. Hopefully, there's a silver lining. But maybe he's just an average wideout that they decided to pick. I don't know why. All right. We'll see you guys a little later. Hang in there. It's all going to be okay.